This is an anime review of In the Land of Leadale, episode 1 through 3. I decided to do episode 1 through 3 review just because I picked up the anime once the third episode aired. So I was like, might as well just give it like a 3 episode test, see if it's good or not. And yeah, so far this show has not disappointed me. Like, so far all 3 episodes has been good. Honestly, like I can start watching the episode and then like I could be like, I feel like I'm 5 minutes into the episode, but then it turns out I'm already like halfway through the episode. It's actually really entertaining. It's not the funniest of animes because, well, this is an isekai, but it's like isekai comedy. So it's kind of funny. It has a little bit of drama in it, but not too much. As for the comedy side of things, it's like it's a little bit funny. It's not too funny though. Like the only time I actually laughed was at the end of episode 3, but for like the most part, I just had a couple grins on my face just by watching the show. I really enjoyed this show. The only thing I could say that's bad about the show is that some of the character designs are kind of plain. Like the only characters I really notice is like the main character, like what's her name, Kana, and also her kids. Like for the most part, the character design in the shows are just kind of plain and boring. Like they're kind of forgetful. Kana basically saves the character's life at the beginning of episode 2, and then like he pops back up like 5 minutes later in the show, and I don't even recognize him. Like that's how I forget what I'm talking about. It's just like they just aren't that really detailed. They're really just not that good. They don't really stand out. Anyway, let me get into the review of the episodes. I wrote down a couple of things about each episode that I noticed and things that I was thinking about as I was watching the episodes. So let me just get into that. Well, like every isekai, it begins with the main character dying, but this time it's a little different, as in she's not hit by a truck, but she dies because she's in the hospital on life support. And basically, the power goes out in the city, and somehow she gets trapped inside the VR headset that she was wearing while she was on life support. Now, it doesn't actually say she's died, but I guess it's kind of hinting at that, but we'll know as the show goes on. After that scene goes into the anime intro, or the opening, and I could say, never mind, it's another bad thing I'd like to say about this anime. The opening is really not that good, and I'm a person that actually enjoys my anime openings, and this one's not something that I ever look up to listen to. So once she finds out she's stuck in this virtual world, she doesn't really freak out too much, and that's the thing that kind of I noticed about. Like, so it's gonna be drama in the show, but it won't be like too serious, and I'm kind of enjoying that right now. But I would like to have just a little bit more of a reaction from the main character. But like I said, that's not really too bad for me. Also, she goes to her menu and she knows that she's like level like 1100. So you know that she's gonna be kind of overpowered throughout the show. And you kind of find that out like 5 minutes in the episode. So that's kind of good to know because like I like my power fantasies. Because I remember when I was watching Misfit Demon Academy, I really enjoyed that one. But something tell me she's not gonna be doing anything as crazy like beating somebody with her heartbeat. I don't think it's gonna go that far now. The first episode also introduces like 5 characters, including the Tower Guardian spirit, which is the Tower Guardian is actually kind of an interesting personality because it's kind of like a tsundere, which is interesting for a tower, but it's just rude. So it's kind of funny. It was a little bit funny. So anyway, she realized that she's like 200 years in the future on this video game that she used to be playing, and basically like her only motivation in the first episode basically is just to look for her family, like some NPCs that she made kids out of, and she's gonna track them down. And also she says she also want to look for these towers. Or was that the second episode? I believe that's the second episode. Never mind. But let's go to the second episode now. The second episode begins with basically what's her name, Kana, finding out that her oldest son Scargo is now a high priest, and they call him Lord Scargo. Since she finds out that Scargo's in the capital, she heads to the capital with a caravan and some mercenaries. And like I said, she saves somebody's life at the beginning of episode 2. And basically, after she saved his life, they let her join up with them so they can take her to the capital so she could visit her kids. She can't visit Scargo because she needs to make an appointment, but instead she runs into her other son, Kartats, who's a master craftsman working on a ship at the moment. And that whole interaction that she had with that son is kind of funny because he called her like mom, and then like she just like instantly falls on the floor out of shock that a grown man called her that. It was kind of interesting. While she's also in the capital, she gets like her adventurer certification, so she could be an adventurer now. So she started doing quests, and she runs into these 2 characters that's looking for the prince, I believe. Well, he is the prince. It's kind of told in the third episode. But yeah, so basically he's looking for the prince, and they gotta hunt him down. And this right here was kind of interesting because it shows more of her abilities, and apparently she has the ability to walk on water, which is like she's just so overpowered for this show. Like it feel like she could do anything. I feel like right now she's walking in water. Like next episode she's probably like flying or something, or like maybe she might be like air walking like Sanji doing One Piece. Well, the second episode ends with basically her three kids, her two sons and their one daughter are sitting at a table chatting, and it was at this moment that I realized Scargo is gonna be one of my favorite characters in this whole series. His reactions are just kind of hilarious. I really enjoy seeing him on the screen. The third episode begins with her meeting her daughter Mai Mai, who's like the headmaster of this academy or something like that, and she's kind of funny because like she's overreacting as well when she runs into Kana, and they have like a whole little like she just keep on trying to hug her. It's kind of like it's just kind of weird. After that, basically, Kana basically she goes on another quest to basically hunt down a ghost or something like that in the Coliseum, and the prince follows her around and follows her to the Coliseum. And that just got me wondering, like, who's supposed to be keeping tabs on this kid? He just keeps on escaping, or wherever, like, or wherever he's doing. He keeps on getting away from whoever's supposed to be watching him. So whoever's doing that, whoever's supposed to be watching him, they should be fired, honestly. So anyway, while she's at the Coliseum, she realized that this is where another Guardian Tower is, and that's basically where she comes to realize when she talks to the Guardian Spirit. Basically, she realized that basically she's the last person that's in that world, and the server's been closed down for like over 200 years. Well, in the world's time anyway. So right now she kind of gets depressed, and she goes back to the inn like all depressed and all that, and she just lays down in bed. And her eldest son Fairy finds out about this. He rushes over to her, and only to get uppercutted through the ceiling. Like honestly, that was funny. Like honestly, that was the funniest thing that happened in the whole show so far. And then her daughter Mai Mai basically takes him down from the ceiling, and basically puts him in a casket and had these guys carry him away. That was just hilarious. I couldn't help but laugh on that one. So out of these three episodes, honestly, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be watching the show this season. Like I'm not gonna say it's a must watch, but if you got nothing better to do, might as well just pop this on and just sit down with some popcorn, just check it out, and just have a good time. So this is my review of the first three episodes of this anime in the land of Leadale, and I'll catch y'all next time.